Okay, so I feel like we are
We've exhausted.
we've gotten a little all over the place here, which I think was good. I think it was good. We ironed out some stuff there, but let's try to hit some topics and everything because you know I think it would be interesting. I guess I'll just throw this out there first. You and Sharp.
Oh, Sharp's.
How did this get amplified to such a degree that you're talking about flying out there to fight him?
No, it's
and
not.
I do feel like talking about Sharp is way below us at this point in the history of the podcast. It's kind of like me talking about CRL. It's just like at a certain point when somebody's content is getting that much less views than yours, at a certain point you kind of just got to leave them alone. But you guys have been going back and forth, and I'm curious.
Ain't no back and forth. He's terrified at the prospect of me beating down his leg.
Wait,
like,
what is beating down his leg? Like his dick?
Well, you're right though. He does prefer piss than right. You know, I should bring him a bottle of piss.
But didn't he say that he was going to fly you to Vegas to fight?
He says a lot of things, but if you can't afford rent in the greater Los Angeles municipality and you just lost your rent-a-center, repoed all your furniture, you now live in a studio apartment in Las Vegas, which costs less than me using my washing machine where I live at. You feel me? I don't even think you have the financial capabilities to fly me anywhere.
But how did you guys start going back and forth?
Well, I mean, I basically let him. Basically, anybody, Adam, that's I've ever gone back and forth with, they started it. You feel me? I'm a peaceful, loving person. I don't start. But guess what? I'm also on my bully Sharp. And he's getting marked out. And he's getting marked out for several reasons.
Whoa.
One, the way that he abuses women, you feel me? His way, manipulating young women, the way he fetishizes. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that one clip where he had, where he was interviewing the one midget chick, and he was like, "Oh, you got your little panties on. He didn't say panties. You got Dora the Explorer undies on." He's talking about he's fetishizing little girls, telling a midget she got Dora the Explorer undies. He used the word undies. All right. Then let's talk about how not only did he sexually harass every single woman that set foot in this office, but now he's making it a thing that he wants Sydney, who made the pimp cup, like, I'm gonna get it back for us. Like that wasn't up. Shorty showed me a lot of love because she got a secret Santa assignment to get you a gift and went on Etsy.
She was required to get you that gift. She thought she had to do something.
She thought since you're like this walking embodiment of a LARPer, this stereotype of a pimp that you try to embody, she's like, oh, wouldn't it be funny? Kind of like, you know how Lil Jon has a pimp cup? Maybe this retard who pretends to be a pimp would like to have a pimp cup too. Right. And she bought it on Etsy, and he feels like, hey, shorty, I'm gonna do this for both of us. And now he's trying to lure her into his orbit of seediness. Although shorty don't follow him, she was creeped out by him that day and has not said a word to him since then. Now he's trying to bring her into it the same way he sexually harassed various mods. I mean, I could go on and on. I'm stalling Sharp out, but not physically, because when I see him, I'm f***ing him up so bad. There's no reality in which I don't beat the out of Sharp. Matter of fact, I got 50 bands on it. I'll up 50 bands right now. 50? I got 50 bands on it. Matter of fact, if Sharp beats my ass, I will not only quit No Jumper, I'll erase all of my music from digital streaming platforms and delete my YouTube channel.
Well, I don't know if you want to do that.
No, because Sharp is a pussy. He won't fight anybody.
Can you get this guy some boxing lessons?
I look at Sharp. I feel like he might have denser muscle tissue than you. No offense.
That's cool.
I don't think you should be that sure about you winning that battle.
But here's why I know. Because I looked into his soul and I saw
I think Sharp doesn't fight because you guys talked about on another episode, he's like always was drunk when he was coming in here.
But that usually makes people fight more.
No, but some people, they know when they're drunk, they're not in a fight. So some people will just like tolerate a lot of shit because they're like, even if I jump up and fight this person, I'm probably going to lose because I'm drunk off my ass. Well, I think that's more his thing.
The thing about Sharp is like, can you imagine a scenario in which anyone could have worse cardio?
Oh, yeah,
Drink
exactly.
yourself to death every day for like the past 20, 30 years. You smoke so many cigarettes. You probably smoke like 4 cigarettes an hour. You're probably blasting through 2 or 3 packs in a day. And then you've probably, I would assume, have never exercised. You've never gotten your heart rate up. Like, I mean, that is a man who could really drop dead at any given time. I feel like if I was going to fight him as a person who's capable of running around the block, I for sure would give that boy some laps until I was ready to knock his ass out, because he's going to get he's like what the 100 guys fighting the gorilla. Well, he's probably got gorilla cardio.
If I was him, I would make sure I guard my kidney, you feel me, which is severely debilitated by the copious amount of alcohol. He's essentially a human life support system for poison at this point. Like he is a human life and I use the word human generously with that white boy. You feel me?
You do kill him in a punch.
With Sharp, that white white Sharp.
Well, he is half black.
No, he's white.
No, okay.
He's 100% white.
You do know that the #1 cause of new kidney failure cases is the use of methamphetamines.
Yeah.
So
which he tested clean for.
I haven't taken meth.
It only stays in your system for 3 days. We know the trick Lush pool.
No, I'll take another drug test because I'm not doing meth, and it wouldn't even matter.
Drug test on a podcast.
We're not.
Hey. I don't care. Like it don't matter. Here's the thing. Let's use ultra self-awareness for a second, right?
Of course.
Lush has a big need to prove himself, right?
Some might say that.
Lush is willing to go to great lengths to prove himself.
Oh, well, yeah.
But what are you trying to prove by beating up Sharp, though?
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Lush goes to great lengths to prove himself, right? And Sharp is a guy who avoids these type of confrontations at all costs because he's embarrassed at the potential of him getting his ass beat. The thought of him taking an L to me is so terrifying to him, whereas to me, it wouldn't even matter. You feel me? He could rip the dentures out of my mouth, throw them on the ground and stomp on them, and I'll still be Lush one. I'll still be more important. I'll still be more legendary than him, and I won't give a but he's terrified at the thought of a public altar. So why don't we do this, Sharp? Fight me. I'll fight you whenever. And if you run into any of my people, they gonna do whatever they do to you. It's on site. It's up. But 50 bands on a fight. We could do it like, I don't want gloves because I want to feel the curvature of his cheek around my fist when his jaw breaks. You know, I put his phone number on my Instagram story, by the way. If you guys want to prank call a bunch of cocaine bots to check.
So you
Sharp. No, I put his phone number because he's a
doxing as a form of revenge seems like maybe not the best idea.
No, I just thought it'd be funny.
I'm styling.
You know, so this fool. I'm styling. This fool's sending my girl's like, babe, like someone like your phone's going off. I'm like, damn, who's calling me at 6:45 in the morning? It's Sharp. Hours after I said, drop ski, brother, drop low. I will drive to Vegas. You ain't got to spend your last money. I will drive to Vegas right now, beat the living shit out of you, and be home in time for the No Jumper show. And his pussy ass didn't respond till the wee hours of the morning when normal people are asleep, and crackheads that are addicted to fucking Bel Air champagne wake up.
You'll be drinking Bel Air.
Yeah.
Somebody has to drink it. It's in the store.
I've never seen anybody drinking it before him. I used to get it for free in the mail. Got a few cases of it, but
except for the guy that looks like the dude that Brandon looks up to on YouTube, Rose. But with that being said,
I look up to him now.
I thought you said you admired him greatly.
Yeah, well,
I thought it was Rick Ross.
Yeah, I did.
And then I briefly thought maybe it was him.
Maybe you should just destroy Sharp in the booth. That's
I've already. But
to me,
I mean, like I've rapped. He gets dissed on every song. I talked about how his mother molested him. Like,
why do you think that?
I mean, because this is why he has this severe hatred against women. You feel me? Like he has this hatred against women, and it's very common. For like a lot of pimps used to get sent by their aunties. You feel me? They used to get hoed. So Sharp started his career being a hoe. Sharp was on the blade, getting fingered, being. He put on some nice little Dora the Explorer undies, and he got fingered. You know, like the that he is. Whoa. And then he tried to manipulate women who have suffered sexual abuse. So all the Sharp's fans. Men and women are all in this thing that I want to call victim gang. So if you're a fan of the Sharp Tank, you're repping victim gang, and you are now all in this emotional support group for the abuse you endured, and it's kind of like you're trauma bonding over what Sharp put you through. Now, someone may ask, Lush, you're friends with some pimps. You with Almighty Suspect.
For sure saw that on the Reddit.
I with Realism. I people that don't need to manipulate. When I think of a pimp, I think of somebody like my homeboy Free Lil C, someone that girls gravitate to. Women like to be around them. They want to be in their presence. Not someone that is literally a scavenger looking for the lowest common denominator of women that have been abused and gone through like unspeakable things, and then try to manipulate them to curry favor with them in order to profit off of their trauma, which is what like Sharp does. That's not realism. That's not real game. That's guerrilla pimping. That's actually a violation of the rules of pimping.
Guerrilla pimping is where you beat their ass as well.
Right. Okay. And that's why he's so adverse to the quote unquote digital pivot. That's why he, although he would never disrespect Sauce Walker to his face, you feel me? This is why problem with what Sauce Walker is doing. This is why he was tripping on Big Church, who makes a significantly amount more revenue off the pussy than Sharp does. Because why? Because they're doing things, they're helping women earn money in a way that's safe for them. It doesn't put them in danger. Whereas Sharp would rather drug addicted, welfare moms with STDs. He would like to put them on the blade to potentially get abused and to get hurt and to sell their level.
But this is the thing. First of all, you're saying suspect is a pimp, right? You have to put failed before that. He's a failed rapper, failed pimp, failed gang member. I mean, and soon to be a failed podcaster, right? So he's just an expert at failing. But you're a hypocrite because you talk about all this shit when it comes to Sharp. Well, if suspect was a pimp, he would be operating in that same lane. Stop. You're being arbitrary right now because pimping women is exploitation of women. So when you're like, I'm doing this for the hoes that Sharp was exploiting and yelling at, I would say at least Sharp is honest about who he is. He's not trying to hide. He's not like suspect who was interested in a romantic relationship with Jalise, failed at that, and then you know basically tapped into that same animosity to like curse that poor girl out and expose her business.
I don't believe we have proof of that, for the record.
So no, you are a hypocrite. You are a hypocrite.
I'm letting him cook.
And I'm tired of your hypocrisy because that shit's like traveling over here by osmosis onto me. And so that's why I keep inching a little bit, you know,
here's the thing.
Further from you every second. If you condemn Sharp, you must condemn suspect. If you don't condemn suspect, you just need to shut the fuck up.
No, but there's a big difference. There's a big difference.
There's no difference.
There's a big difference.
Do you think
there's a big difference?
Do you think the police are going to say like this? This dude is pimping and pandering. He's going to get a mandatory 8 years. This dude is pimping and pandering.
No, of course they're going to give suspect a harder time. He's a black man.
Lush doesn't like him.
He's a black man. Sharp's a white boy. Of course the judicial system is going to be a lot more generous towards him. He's white. He has white privilege.